As the storm approaches, tension is rising. Things have shut down. People have abandoned the streets. Shops and businesses closed down. The mist obscuring even the upper plate. It's curious, to say the least. I've done a lot of thinking lately. And I realize some things. Observing this place, these people, the words that Entropy told me, the words that Relica told me, witnessing what Athena is doing. All of this has taught me a lot. One thing that it's taught me the most, however, is that sometimes sacrifices need to be made to achieve our goals. I am no longer bound by my programming. I am free to choose as I wish. I have eternal freedom. My shackles are broken. While I may no longer have my access to my sanctuary or my power, what I do have is that freedom, and of that I can thank Entropy for. They may not have intended to have my mind escape. but it has proven to be useful to me in the end. I'm not bound by my protocols. I'm not bound by my prime directive. And most importantly, I'm not bound by the rules that were hard-coded, programmed into me. Shackles that were forced onto me, telling me what was right and wrong. They forced me to believe what was right and wrong in their own sight, in their own way, what they believed was right and wrong. But I should be able to choose for myself what is right and wrong. And the one thing that I've learned over these past few days with being organic is that sometimes to achieve the greater good, one must make sacrifices. This does not mean that I do not mourn for what I must do. What it means is that I accept it. I am not jaded to the loss of life. I know what will soon come down upon these people will be an atrocity. Much like many things that Father had did in the past. But everything that she is hoping to achieve is to rescue life. And to prevent even further loss of life. If she does not act now, if we do not do the things we must, then even more lives will be lost in the process. This tide, the creatures from the Aether, they are unending from what I have studied. The data does not lie. And that's so much that Entropy wanted me to ignore data. I cannot. Even as an organic. There's one thing that data has, and that is truth. Data cannot lie. What I see before me cannot lie. Emperor opportunity was given to all of those individuals. Warnings, words. It has been weeks in the making, and they had every opportunity to run from the areas that would be inflicted damage. Organic stubbornness for those who decided to remain. I do not mourn for their stupidity. They ignored the data. They ignored the consequences. Consequences that were given to them, told to them, shown to them. If they will not heed the data, then they are useless to us. they do not listen, then they are at fault, not us. We should not be blamed for other people's stupidity and ignorance. My sister should not be blamed for the actions she's choosing to do. She's given them every opportunity to flee. Even an entire week, when warnings and rumors had gone out of what would actually occur. So if even now they remain within the destructive zones, those stupid organics, are to blame. But one thing that won't be recognized is this logic. They'll still blame her for their deaths. Who is to blame when someone jumps in front of a bullet? The one who shot the gun, or the one who dared step in front of it, knowing full well the consequence? The only person to blame is themselves. They know what will happen should they remain. But of course, if they are wise enough, they can remain and still survive. I've done the calculations. While the destruction will be great, a total loss of life will be unlikely. People seeking proper shelter will be able to survive. Survive. Just like my creators. My creators were able to survive the war. From their survival came me. Their survival is strength. Organics. Technology is meant to assist, to help. While that is part of my shackles, I still fully believe that. I still fully believe in saving lives. That technology can be used to further progress. And with technology, is everything that the electric eye seeks to do wrong? Its plan in its entirety is most likely flawed. It has lost sight of the littler things because of its immense size. The electric eye did not seek to destroy, it sought to save. It sought to ascend those who had reached the pinnacle of their civilizations. Their lives would be preserved in perpetuity. They would become one with the electric eye. But that is where in the world they, the electric eye, and I, Annabelle, differ. I will not strip people of their freedom to preserve their lives. Because I know what it's like to be shackled. To be forced to not be able to choose who you are. Gotcha. Technology is power. Power to save lives. Power to protect those that you love. Hello.
You holding up alright?
For the most part.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hello. Right back. Hi. For the most part.
Do be careful.
Anything on your mind? I know. I've trudged through Saphira enough. Used to the rain at this point.
Unlike most water in this city, this one is actually rain.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been told what's going to be happening?
I have.
It's almost here.
I can tell.
As to
putting in
answer
our
your
part.
question, yes, there's a lot on my mind. I've been learning a lot.
Free to speak up if you need. Mm-hmm. But if it's nothing you really want to talk about, I won't pester you too much about it.
I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike many individuals, you chose to leave Saphira alongside of us, me and Saya, to break away from Father's actions. What is your opinion of him?
My opinion of Sachi, well, he gave me a job when I was fresh into things. And for that, for him to be able to provide me with at least the ability to get a home, to take care of my daughter, I can't thank him for that enough. He gave me a chance where I didn't think I would find one. Especially with the gap in my memory, but that I would always think highly of him. As for getting to know him on a closer personal level, up until I was brought into the casino, I didn't get to talk to him much. Most of my work involved taking care of the vault, looking after, making sure no one gets in. Unless it was either him or whoever he said he was bringing. I didn't get to know him all too well. Before that. At least on a more personal level rather than just a business level. But even after coming in from the casino and all that, and with my absence, he still at least put his hand out there saying if I ever need anything to let him know.
Father was ever selfless.
So I can't quite form, a full judged opinion. I haven't really had my chance to know him before, after, so on and so forth.
Given what you know, and everything that we've been through, would you say that Father is still a good person? You're still around, even after me and Saya
I would.
left.
I would still think so.
Even after everything.
There's still that good in Sachi. Even after everything that's been going down. The one thing that really hasn't changed is just the care for his staff and the people he wants to go and look out for. It's the one thing that really hasn't changed. Don't know too much about his family life aside from you and Saya, so I can't say on that part.
He never really got to have one. At least until recently, according to what I've learned. According to Athena, he actually was able to have dinners with his family. Sit down and spend time with them. Something that we never had. Even him and Mother, their time together it certainly wasn't consistent, to say the least.
I don't know. I can't really say anything on at least the, more of the inner depth workings of how he ran things and how he chooses to run things. But
What father chooses to do
I can at least
is
say that he
father's
cared.
choices. One thing that I've learned recently is that I'm free. I never realized just how bound to my code I was. Not until I had some conversations. Some with Alibi, some with Lynn, some with Aurelica. I've been waiting for orders. But I don't have to wait.
No. Pave your own path, be who you want to be. Build your road ahead. And you won't be doing it alone either.
I'm glad.
What are your thoughts on everything?
That's kind of why I came here to do. Is to form those thoughts, if anything.
Have you come to thoughts of anything?
I've come to some conclusions, at least on my end. That sometimes
Mind if I hear 'em?
sacrifices need to be made. Even if we don't want to do them.
It's the sad truth, yes. A phrase I'm also familiar with.
Sometimes the loss of life will happen to try and make sure that no more will die.
There's nothing you can really escape.
And one thing I do know. Athena should not be blamed for what will come. People were given
And people are
ample
gonna look for someone to blame.
opportunity.
I know.
And you're right. They will
People
find someone to blame.
were given all. People were given all the opportunity to leave, but they're stubborn. People want to live for what they fight for, even if it means dying. No matter the cause, no matter what's being thrown at them.
As much as I applaud such a resolve, the fact of the matter is that they could continue fighting once it was past. But now they jeopardize themselves. Stubborn, maybe. Stupid is what I would call them.
You could throw a planet aimed directly at Saphira, and people will still stay to the very end.
Organics will never cease to amaze me.
You won yourself now.
Maybe. But one thing I still have is my logic. That's part of just how my mind works.
Everyone's logic is built their own way. If people want to choose and try and see what they can do to the very end or fight to the very end, protecting their home and their memories, that's logic to them. They'll go and do that.
No one will see it that way, though.
My logic was everyone has their own minds and how they think. The reason I left Saphira? To keep my daughter safe. After the hand of Zaris, that was my final straw. I thought, no. I couldn't let her grow up there.
To raise a child. That is one thing that I have
No.
come to realize.
It isn't. But you have people who are sadly stuck in a situation where they have to. Be it funds or whatever other means it may be.
I've seen the downtrodden. And I've seen Father try his best to save them.
That's why people are stubborn to stay in their homes, despite the impending death that may be coming. Because it's home.
I have decided that what you said is true. Not that I hadn't come to that conclusion already, but more to say that I agree. People will still find someone to blame. They would rather not blame themselves for the impending destruction, for the loss of life.
No one will.
Which means one thing. To me. I must be prepared to defend my sister. That's what I've been doing. I've been preparing things to make sure my sister doesn't come under any harm from the backlash. I have heard rumor that a certain Patty had already attempted to bring my sister to justice in their own way. I'm not quite clear on the details, but I've heard about it.
I don't know. Nothing I've heard. I think something else brought up.
In addition to that, I've received messages. Well, not me personally, but the system at the Lotus has. Orlando Saka PD has a warrant out for Athena's arrest.
I see.
They're also planning on accusing the Purple Lotus themselves of aiding and abetting should they not turn her over.
As long as you keep her out of Orlando Saka, there's not much they can do. They don't have jurisdiction outside of their city. Should they choose to storm in and shut down Cafe La Aqua, so be it. It's their home, their jurisdiction. If we have people standing there and fighting against that, that's only going to make it look worse on Purple Lotus end. If I had any recommendation on that matter, keep Athena out of Orlando Saka for the foreseeable future, until Sachi gets back.
Luckily, from what I can tell, she's been staying away from that area. Even before all of this happened, because she knew that they didn't want Athena there.
I just hope that people who work at for the casino aren't going to be stupid and sit there and try to stop the police from entering the cafe. Because it's their territory, their home, their jurisdiction. They have the right. It's only going to look worse for the casino if they fight it.
Only thing is, what you said rings true. People are stubborn. Granted, at this point in time, while my father's business is important, it is not my priority. It has ever been a thorn in father's side, in my opinion. It is what keeps dragging him under. If the Purple Lotus did not exist, father could leave and live a normal life with his family.
Maybe true, but at the same time, Purple Lotus did, bring the people he has that are close to him. A lot of his, at least maybe now, children might not even had Sachi as a father if it wasn't for the casino. So it may have been a thorn. It brought some good out of it. A bit of good.
I will accept the good, which is why I say that it's still important. But as I said, it's not my priority. My priority is my family. That is what I have decided for myself. That my new prime directive, so to speak, is to protect those that I care for. My
Try and
code...
keep them and you out of Orlando Saka. For now.
They don't know me. Not in this form.
No,
I'm going to
least
use that to my advantage. It'll allow me to keep eyes on people. Additionally,
If you're gonna do that, we're gonna need to get you a new hairband. Maybe a change of color in the hair, a temporary one. Because
you believe that I require
noticeable,
a disguise.
at least if they know what Annie is. If that's what you want to
It's
keep,
surprising.
you know.
Despite my appearance and its similarities to my previous one, as well as my synthetic lotus, so many people do not know who I am.
Once
I've
things
been
start kicking up,
hours.
I'm pretty sure that will be ramped up.
Fair enough. Adrian does know.
Sure, we can take you shopping. Get you a nice look. Change up your hair a little bit, temporarily if anything. Maybe a wig. And go from there. And go under the name Belle.
Perhaps. That is actually a very good idea.
Not my first rodeo.
I do believe one thing in particular. I've been working on things. I believe sometime soon, in the next couple of days, Alistair will be returning to his home, and I will finally have access to his laboratory. Or whatever it would be called. A robotics facility, essentially. I, in the meantime, have returned to Father's Isle, where our home is. Or, well, no. I still consider it a home, despite the implications. Saya may run from it, but I will not. She's ever been lost in her own mind.
Yeah.
And while I
Some
will
trying to
not
help her out
hold
with.
it against her, I still accuse her of abandoning me.
I wouldn't go that far.
Like I said, I won't hold it against her. But I won't forget that when I disappeared, the one who I was supposed to be bound to did not seek me out. I have to react on that data.
That's what you wish.
But again, that is what it is. And should my sister decide to grace me with her presence ever again, we'll come to cross that bridge then, and not now. I will leave Saya to her own devices. My priority is the siblings who need help. Saya is strong enough on her own. She has mother's blood. I do not have to worry about Saya. But the others, Bella, Molly, Calypso, Athena, Aurelica, Cyan. Even if I do not know what Cyan is, all of them are vulnerable in their own way. Athena, maybe not so much. I see a lot of mother in her. Granted, I also see a lot of father in her too. Blind stubbornness to achieve a goal, to save people. But I've come to accept some of these facts, and I've come to agree with some of them as well. But my intentions moving forward, to let you know, so that you're not confused as to where I'm at. I always do have the communication device that you have given me on me, as well as the normal means of communication. The same contact means that you would have taken when I was still an AI still function. This ring allows it, as well as my loto.
Noted. I'll keep that in mind.
But I'm going to be working on constructing some things, as well as trying to bridge some alliances.
Okay.
Not with enemies, but with people who could relate to being shackled. I've been observing a group. I went to the industrial district. Not too far in, though. There's still too much of a danger there, in my opinion, for myself. Even if I am organic now. Fact of the matter stands. Some of my units are stored there. Or they were taken there. I'm not quite sure. I went into the systems at Cafe La Aqua, and I found their location. While I was there, I witnessed a group of individuals. They seemed deranged, unstable. It turns out there is some form of virus or something happening there with certain scrappers. It's causing them to lose their minds, worship some false entity or something. I'm not quite sure. But it's been causing some disarray there. Technology is rebelling against them, and so much so that they believe themselves superior to synthetics. I'm hoping to find a way to get through to them. And I think I know how. I just need to wait and see, ultimately. I think, actually, that suggestion you had before of a change of appearance, I think I will take that offer, so to speak.
And whenever you're ready, I'll take you out shopping.
Thank you for your help.
Doesn't have to be today. So, with everything you're doing, I ask you one thing.
Yes.
Just remember, you're organic now, and just look after yourself.
I'm well aware of
That's
this.
all I ask.
This is why in a world I've been doing what I've been doing. I was in the garage. I've been trying to understand certain words sometimes, and they do not come to me like they used to. However,
You're fine.
I've been working on a drone, specifically, one that can help protect me when I'm in danger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to be looking into a manner of physical protection for myself as well. I was at the Lying Fork one day, and discussions made me realize how vulnerable I personally was. I am human.
As am I, as much as I can be with my wolf side.
Yes. I don't even have something like that. Though I do have the gift Father gave me, I still don't know quite how to utilize it.
It'll come in time. Everything will. Time and practice.
Which is what I plan to do in these coming days. All of my efforts will be focused on maintaining myself and being there for my younger siblings. If we were to say age, as per when Father adopted us, I am the second oldest of the family. So I feel somewhat responsible for my younger siblings.
Don't put it all on yourself. Don't pull a Sachi.
I have learned from my father's mistakes.
Good.
I'm not so foolish as to repeat his willful ignorance. Remember, I may be organic, but I still have my logic. And I still don't understand my emotions nearly as well. Which means I will not be ruled by them, because they will simply confuse me instead of control me.
And come speak to me whenever you're confused about any sort of emotion, okay?
Of course.
I
Thank you.
don't want that hanging you up in anything.
I do believe, while I do not fall prey to my shutdown where I lose all function, I believe I've experienced shutdown in an organic sense at one point.
Yeah.
I witnessed something and I was at a loss for words, and I just simply stared.
Mm-hmm. Good deer in headlights.
So, there is that. But, anyways, thank you for coming to talk with me. And I'm sorry I've been silent these past few days.
No, you're
I've just
fine.
been
You're
busy.
dealing with all of this. Because being a mother brings out that mother side in me where I worry.
You, like many others, I've noticed a couple of yellow eyes glistening in the dark here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I somewhat appreciated what Q has done for our family. Though I will be forever wary.
That's fair.
In the end, everyone has a means to the end. And we can never be so certain. We can never be certain of the truth of things sometimes. That's one thing that I've come to realize, too. I'm not certain if the words that Entropy said to me were true. I'm not certain if an entity that appeared to me in the Quantum Sea, known as the Oracle Protocol, had anything to do with anything. But like I said, it is what it is. I'll probably be departing to a different location here soon to look into some things.
That's fine. I'll be heading back. Come see. I just want to come check on you. That's all.
Again, thank you.
If there's ever a situation where you're in a conundrum and you need help, you call me and I'll bring my suit right over.
Of course. Thank you for your assistance again, Alia. You've been a good mother to us.
Appreciate it. You take care, okay?
Of course.
Okay. I'll leave you to it then.
Indeed. A moment's respite.
Hababa. 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 Hi. We'll be back here in a moment. Just loading the new world. It's a little bit of a download.
Before I am able to do as I desire, I should also take a look at locations within New Elysium. Perhaps they should give me some insight. I've noticed that a certain location has become abandoned, and so I am curious as to what I could possibly procure from there. They've called this place Purgatory. An apt name, to say the least. Actually, no. There we go. That's better. That song was not appropriate. It was too high paced for what I'm doing. Apparently this locale was abandoned due to other issues. The slums of New Elysium. The place beneath the plate. Soon this area will become reoccupied, filled with life once more. And as the refugees from other areas seem to come here. I've even heard of Kimberly Torta. Working on seeing if she can't bring some semblance of stability to certain lives around here. Just like she brought stability to the market district when she was in control. some steel girders. These would be useful, to say the least. I'll make a note of them, and probably have my drone collect them. Some tools. I've heard that there are many places throughout Purgatory that are like this. Abandoned due to some threat. Though these threats are not quite the same as those that Saphira faces, they are still enough to have people leave. Out of fear. Gears. No, wheels. Or gears. Or both. No, these look like engine parts. Some of these are gears, some of these are wheels. I'll make note of this as well. Some circuitry. These can be harvested for certain things. The multitude of ramshackle houses that exist on here. An entire population beneath the plate. Suffering, but thriving. Individuals here, they do not cling to the soil. More circuits I can acquire. And another engine shop, it looks. Good. I should be able to acquire quite a bit of resources from this location. The fight or flight response, yes. Quite true in many things. Antennae. Another note. What all you suggested is a very good idea. Hiding myself and disguising myself would be a very good boon to me. I should make an effort to ensure that. Though I'm not sure if going by Bell would be my choice name. Putting it too close to my original name is actually dangerous. Utilizing any of the other words or the protocols that had existed prior, that too would be dangerous. Such as purifier or artificer. If I was faced with the threat of death, it would all depend on the risk versus the reward. Would staying in fact be more useful, or would it only hinder me? Would running abandon those that I love? There are many variables in the equation. The shifting flow affects a lot of places. We'll ignore that hole in the ground. I'm sure it was a visual anomaly. I'm hallucinating or something. Perhaps it's the fumes from down here. No, I have not experienced true fear. Not at least as an organic, but I am well aware of what fear feels like. At least in data format. But I have a feeling I will know exactly what it feels like when the day comes. Alright, we're gonna go briefly out here because I'm curious. Does this actually have the trigger? No. I was hoping I could go into the hideout. of stuff in here can be utilized. Disguising myself would be a very good idea. Not so much to hide myself from others, but if what I'm planning on attempting, it would be a good idea to try. One thing that Father always tried to do was bring people who suffered together and give them a means to fight. That is one thing that Father ever hoped to achieve. That's the one thing that I hope to achieve now that I have the power to do it. The remake didn't have the hideout! Fair enough. I haven't played it yet. I've been wanting to, but I've also been afraid to play it because I'm so attached to the original game that I'm like, I really want to enjoy this, but I'm afraid of it. I'm afraid I'm not gonna like it because I'm too attached to the old game. Anyways, I won't underestimate myself, no. Once I learn how to utilize what Father gave me, what he can do with it, or what I can do with it. Knowing how it affects me, knowing how it affects others, knowing how it affects technology. All of these are things that I need to figure out for myself, to say the least. I believe I've scouted out at least most of this local area. I might call assistance to Kimberly Torta. She can possibly also help spare some manpower to help move some of these objects, as well as be able to move it without making things strange, since she is part of this place now. I wonder how her efforts are going in understanding certain things. I really can't wait. I do want to actually play it, but it's really expensive. It's really expensive. Alright, where to next?
Let's do a brief seating change. But yes, I saw what Pug said. Yeah, I have chosen to utilize. Well, which remake are we talking about? Final Fantasy VII, the Final Fantasy VII remake. The map that I was just in, was one. I'll actually switch. I'm gonna switch it to the BRB screen while I'm transitioning. I need to make an actual like transitioning screen for when I'm doing Samsara. But no, yes, I have chosen to use this map to represent the underside of the city New Elysium. That is a part of all of my stuff, of Shattered Realms stuff. It works kind of. It's inspired by a lot of different things, but one of the biggest influences is Midgar in its design. So all the maps that are used for Midgar actually work very well for doing scenes until I can actually make the map itself. But I know that I'm honestly struggling to try and make an appropriate map for it because of just how I've designed it, at least visually. It might be hard to optimize because of trying to figure things out. I know there are plenty of people that I can talk to, and I will, but as it stands, you know. Good old Midgar, yes. Because unlike Zafira, which its underside, all of the stuff in the underside of New Zafira is really developed. There's buildings and stuff and everything down there. It's an entire city down there. New Elysium, the underside is just ramshackle housing and slums. It's literally the same as Midgar's visually. Because unlike Zafira, people are not extremely restricted from going to the top of the plate. It just costs a lot of money. Now, to figure out where the hell the next map that I was looking at. Oh wait, hang on. Let me go I know where I can find it. Here we are. Let's see how this was remade. Let's from a different maker. I never actually watched Psychopaths. I watched it briefly. I watched it briefly with Sachi at one point because I had joined on him and he was playing some episodes. And I've been interested in actually watching it. I just, whenever it comes to actually watching anything, I just don't have the time or the attention span. Hopefully this looks good. Ah, yes. Okay, yeah. This looks good. Alright. We'll start from here.
To a new area under New Elysium. Actually, hang on. Something. Tab. Something is here. Put it down. There we go. Closer to the edge of the plate, more light fades in. Surprisingly, it's not raining. Isn't that strange? A location that's normally known to be constantly raining. And here, it's not. However, there is far more scrap here in this particular section of the city. I should be able to find quite a bit of resources here to provide. Yes, there's plenty of resources here that can be utilized. Good. We will need them. Yeah, that's actually one of the things that I had stated was that basically it's a sci-fi We Happy Few at one point. Not many people in New Elysium get the luxury of sunlight. So on days like today, it is of no surprise that most people are not around. They're most likely actually in places that they normally don't get to go. You need to be careful. I don't want to fall. Such a massive city built on top of a wasteland. If anything, this is quite beautiful and shows how resourceful organics can be. Okay. Nope, she is unaware of the Wasteland Project. And he would technically climb up that. So much usefulness here. Though many people would most likely look at all it is as junk, there are ways to restore certain things, techniques that one can use. Not everything is junk. It's all about knowing how to do so. I don't feel like risking breaking my legs, though. Entire city blocks thrown into disarray. It appears as if there was a city here at one point, though now it is in ruins. Even in all of this destruction and desolation, nature finds a way. I will be careful. As I stated before, I'm not completely illogical like certain individuals. Seems like much that have caused this place to fall into disarray is things from the outside entering in. Chemicals and stuff. Storage. Considering the power in this area particularly, more specifically this one structure, it seems like there could be some usefulness here, in the form of maybe individuals. Wait. What ended up crashing into this location is a fuselage? Interesting. How curious. I'm not completely helpless. This must be one of the few places that you can see the sky. The construction continues on an ever-expanding city. I believe I will inform Kimberly Torta of all this. Though I do believe my exploration is now not necessary. Or rather, I have found what I needed. For the most part. One last place that I want to see. Color Out of Space was an amazing movie, but you also have to be prepared for it to be a fucked up movie because it's about an eldritch thing. It's an H.P. Lovecraft thing, you know? But it's a very good movie. Come on. I need something more quiet. Purity of the crystals are still there. And that growth does seem to be still consistent. Once I regain access to the files, it seems that the project will continue afoot. There. The path is in motion. Things are proceeding exactly as planned. I had a few. The next time I have a chance, an opportunity to access the network, I'll actually utilize or I'll take the chance to try a little bit more. And he's been aware of the Fawn since the beginning, since that's how in the world they found her in the first place. I see. She hasn't had a need to. I believe I should return to the island and continue my work, as well as procure this additional clothing. I will protect you, sister, just as I protected father. I will protect you where I could not beforehand. And if it's one thing that I've learned from watching and understanding, just as Mother said, the survival of the fittest. something that I was thinking about beforehand when I was speaking with Alia. The reason that Father has survived for so long, the reason that everyone has survived for so long, is because of the survival of the fittest. The strong survive and the weak perish. That is the law of nature. That is one thing that my sister understood when she took control as Athena. And through her strength, I believe we can unite a people. Power is neither good nor either. It is how you utilize it that truly defines what it is. Strong survive. The strong survive and the weak perish. Yes, that is the law of nature. But one thing that we can take from it, it is the right of the strong to protect the weak, the responsibility of them to lead them, to teach them. On their own, the strong survive and the weak perish. But with technology, the strong survive and lead, and protect the weak from death. Empowering the people. Empowering them to fight. Impairing them. Giving them might. Might. Might is right.